I was reading this yesterday. When you live in a city, I've lived in 7 or 8 states, in 7 or 8 cities, and you have to kind of live in a place and be in a place for a while to understand a place. I mean, that's not to say I can go online to the internet and I know I don't want to live in Yuma, Arizona. I don't want to live in Afghanistan. There's a lot of stuff, information, demographics that are compiled, and places you want to live and places you don't. But to really understand a community, you have to live in a community and kind of get into the pace. And I've been now in Southern California, about 2.5 months, about 2.5 months. And I'm just now, in the last 2 to 3 days, I've noticed it. I'm getting into a routine where I don't have to, use GPS. I know where I'm going. I know the street. It takes me, and I'm not very good with directions. I'm pretty lousy at it. But now I've been here 3 months. I'm kind of figuring out where to go, where stuff's at, where the Lowe's is at, where the Costco's at, where the grocery stores. If that one's closed, I can go to the other one. One of the things, we've had this story for about 10 years going on in the NFL. And what the NFL really likes to do, they like to find a weakness in either your local or your county government. And what they do is they find a weakness. This is what the NFL does. And then they pounce on it and get a stadium built, and they don't have to pay much for it. This is what they've done in communities all over in America. It's not really working in Los Angeles because nobody's going to give you 600 million acres or 600 acres in Los Angeles for free. There's no deals in Los Angeles real estate. They don't exist, especially for an NFL stadium. It's billionaires battling billionaires. In Cleveland, they're desperate for football. In Green Bay, they do anything to keep the team. In St. Louis, there's not as much to do. But having lived in Los Angeles, I saw a story here yesterday where in order for the Rams and the Chargers to be able to move here, they're having these quarterly league meetings, the owners in New York. Some owners believe a deal can be struck between Stan Kroenke and Dean Spanos. These are the rich guys. Lost in the shuffle would be the Raiders. It's now down to the Chargers, and it's down to the Rams. And I look at this, and I think to myself, now that I live in Los Angeles, and now that I'm in this 77-degree weather every day, and now that I can watch the Red Zone channel and DirecTV packages, I'm not sure I would go to games if they were in Los Angeles and in my backyard. Baseball, I like to take my kids every year to a baseball game. I love to go to Laker and Clippers games. I prefer watching basketball live. It's kind of a party scene. I like the crowd. The crowd's right on top of people. I'd rather go to a basketball game than watch it. I'd rather go to a baseball game than watch it. I would absolutely rather go to an NHL game than watch it on TV. But with football, it's become such a televised event. The first down marker, I don't get that at the stadium. The analysis on TV, I don't get that at the stadium. The replays, I don't get that at the stadium. The fights, I do get that at the stadium. So, I'm sitting around here and and it reminds me a lot. The television show that is the NFL is so damn good. It's decentivized me to go to a game. Why would I go? What did I say? I'm not desensitized. I'm decentivized. I'm not.
Opposite of incentive.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Thank you, Kristine. I don't want to go. Basically, exactly. I don't want to go, and it reminds me of what's happening now in the food business. It used to be, you made dinner at home or you'd go out, right? But now there's all these companies out there. There's one called Chef, comes in an orange box, Blue Apron, Seamless, Grubhub, Uber Eats. I don't want to go out. And my wife doesn't want to cook anymore. What's the point? You can basically, if you have a decent, if you have the income for it, you have the discretionary income, what's the point of going out, the hassle, the parking, the tip, and what's the point of making dinner 7 nights a week? I can dial up Grubhub and Seamless and Uber Eats and Chef and Blue Apron, and it's just better. And the NFL is, when you live in Los Angeles, it's like, this isn't Baltimore. You can do mountains, beach, shopping, hiking. There's so much to do. There's 31 music venues here. You know why LA doesn't have an NFL team? Because LA doesn't need an NFL team. It's like for years people have been saying, you got to put a baseball team in Vegas. There's enough to do in Vegas at night. There's nothing to do in Milwaukee past 6:30 at night. Get drunk and watch the Brewers. There's nothing to do. In St. Louis, what do you do if you took the Cardinals out? They're wildly important to that community. There's a million things to do here, and the weather allows you every day of the year to do whatever you choose to do. So I read these LA stories, and I always read them from afar, but when you live in the community like me and you're saving lives on Sepulveda yesterday, yes. If you missed the beginning of the show, it was a classical presentation of me saving 4 lives on Sepulveda. I guarantee if somebody listening to the show saw the accident, saw the smoking car, they probably didn't see me saving lives, but they saw the accident. So if you saw the accident, 877-757-HERD. Nobody was hurt. One lady was all scraped up. The kids were freaking out. The teenagers were screaming and crying. And
did they also catch you flipping the bird to that guy who yelled at you?
That guy was a jerk. I was saving lives. Some guy's like, hey, your car's in the middle of the road. Deal with it, all right?
How does he have was it a New York accent?
I don't know. It's just some guy that was a jerk.